Good morning, everybody. I think my dog's broken. I know that's not a way to start any show, right? But I got up this morning, I took my daughter to school. I came back and my dog was sitting on the window ledge and he was trying to scratch behind his ear, right? But he was doing this moaning and groaning thing. So he obviously couldn't reach it. So I went up and I scratched behind his ear to try and get it away. And his leg came up and he was trying to like paw at his body, right? And I thought, well, that's strange. But anyway, so I stopped. He's now been walking about all morning, his leg half in the air trying to scratch his body and he's not reaching. I think my dog's broke. Oh, jeez. I don't know. The only reason I started laughing before I started is because I can see him walking up and down the living room. I think I'm going to need to take him to the vet. Oh, anyways, hello everybody. Welcome to your Morning Rabble here on the Rangers Rabble podcast. I hope you are all well. It's Wednesday. It's Wednesday, and as Jordy says, please, for the love of God, no negativity from the club today. I wish that was so, Jordy. I wish that was so. Like I say, I'm starting to get to grips with these doing them myself type shows. I'm starting to enjoy them a bit more. You seem to like them. The views have kind of stayed steady, so that's a good thing. Hopefully they continue to grow and more people tune in and more people get involved. And the comments, please make sure you like and subscribe and all that good stuff and share the show about. Do you prefer podcast or do you prefer show? Like, does show sound a bit more professional than podcast, or is a podcast, or do you say podcast? I don't know. You let me know. You let me know. So, question of the day, and I say question of the day, by the way. If I can't think of a question, then I just won't be a question. Uh, so, question of the day today is: what's the most petty that you've ever been? Good morning, Linda. What is the most petty that you've ever been? I was thinking about it this morning, and I can remember. I think the family were going somewhere. And I went in a huff and I went in a bad mood, but I really wanted to go. And because I had made an idiot of myself, I just didn't go. And the family went away and enjoyed their day. And I was in the house raging, cutting my nose off to spite my face. Um, yeah, I mean, I've probably been more petty than that in my life, to be fair. But what's the most petty that you have ever been? I'm hoping that there's some good stories out there. I am blue. I am blue. I am blue. It's a briefing, not a show. See, I don't look at this like that. This is just me coming on, talking nonsense, talking a wee bit about Rangers, getting your feedback, getting you on the phones. I feel it's more of a show. Uh, but Ian McKenzie prefers podcast. Linda prefers show. Um, what's the score about our CEO? See how that rhymes? See how I got that and that rhymed? I'm going to get onto that in a wee bit. I'm going to get onto that in a wee bit. Thank you, Sir Walter. I am doing absolutely fantastic this morning. Um, yes, morning, folks. Sun is shining. I'm positive and looking forward to the match on Sunday, which I expect to be competitive, but a win. I think we all expect it to be a win. Um, we'll talk about Dundee United maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I'm hoping, and this is maybe something that you can feedback to me. Um, I'm hoping to, as the season goes on, I'm hoping to get more people on for interviews during this, more clips of stuff, talk through it. But I wouldn't mind getting fans of other clubs on, say, on a Friday. We're playing Dundee United on Sunday. Getting somebody from a Dundee United podcast or whatever to come on for 10 minutes, have a wee chat about the game, let us know about their team. That's something that you would be interested in. And if there's podcasts out there who want to do it, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with anybody if it brings good content and lets you know about what's upcoming. No producer in the background today, no. Just me, myself here, dealing with the comments and dealing with other things. So what's the most petty that you've ever been? Let me know Please get it in the comments. And the reason that I ask, I don't know if you have all seen this, right? And I apologise for my hair. I have tried my best, but I'm never going to get it to match my face. It's just not going to happen. But the reason that I bring it up, right? I'm sure most of you who are watching this who are on Twitter have probably seen the clip for Jamie Murphy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it rather than me describe what he said. So this is like a 2-minute clip of Jamie Murphy talking about his transfer, which ended up turning into a loan at Rangers. And then we're going to discuss it because I think this goes a wee bit deeper than just a one-off. Right. So here is Jamie Murphy talking to Cy Ferry and the other guy, I don't know his name.
And it was a transfer. It was, there was no loan, it was a transfer. So gets to 2 o'clock, we're like, we just need to get some stuff done with Brighton. They're not really responding, so we just need to sit here for a bit. Gets to 5, 6, 7 o'clock. Like, they've all met up now, and they're like, we can't get a hold of them. And then Brighton phone, or my agent gets a hold of them, and they're like, deals off.
So where are you at this time in Brighton?
I'm in Murray Park.
Oh, you're in Murray
Park? I'm in Murray Park. I've done the medical. I'm in Murray Park. And Brighton phone, they were like, it's off. Someday, and let's just say another SPL team phoned them and told them Rangers couldn't afford it. They had no money.
Oh my God.
So I'm sitting in Murray Park thinking, like, what's going on here? I'm actually sitting at McDonald's because we've been in there all day and there was no food. Somebody went and goes to McDonald's. So I'm sitting in there. I'm sitting eating my double cheeseburger and the guy's told me Brighton have said it's half. So I'm like, but Mark Allen's gone, no. Like, leave it with us. Like, we'll sort it and that. He said, no, don't worry about it. Get it sorted. It gets to 11 o'clock at night. And he's like, nah, they've said it's half. So I phoned it's Paul Barber, the chief executive of Brighton. He's like, I am not coming back down. There is no chance on this earth I am coming back. I've moved my wife, the kids, they're already up. We're in our house. Like, we're selling our house down south. Everything's like sorted. There's no chance I'm coming back down. He's like, unfortunately, Jamie, like, it's just sometimes this happens and stuff like that. Hung the phone up. It's like, can I do this? So the next day, my agent's on the phone all day. Still nothing's happening. It gets to 6 o'clock. He's like, right, Brighton have said that it can be a loan and they have to pay this money by a certain date. And Rangers have agreed it. Everything's agreed. Are you all right with that? And I was like, aye, just get me in.
Now, actually genuinely think about that, right? Now, I know there's supporters of other clubs and maybe some of us would look at that if it was the other way about and laugh and joke about, this and that and this and that. Now, as supporters, we can be as petty as we want, right? We can say things on shows or we can say things to our mates and we can be extremely petty, right? Because we're allowed to do that because we're supporters, right? But that's any other football club, right? Which Jamie Murphy didn't name, so I'm not going to name. We can all have a guess at who we think it is, but that might not necessarily mean that it is that football club, right? But that's another football club in Scotland. Phone the club down south to tell them that Rangers can't afford the transfer fee. That is surely something at the time. Obviously, this is a good few years ago now. Surely something at the time had to be done about that. Surely Jamie Murphy must have told Rangers. Rangers must have known about this. It was quite cleverly kept under wraps. I don't understand the mentality of phoning another football club to try and stop somebody getting a transfer in. All due respect to Jamie Murphy. Jamie Murphy was a very good footballer, right? But he's not Messi or Ronaldo. Why is another football club being that petty to phone up and go, oh, by the way, Brighton, Rangers can't afford that, so don't do it. And by the way, see if it wasn't for Jamie Murphy being a big Rangers supporter and wanting to come to the football club, if that was a foreign guy coming for Brighton or whatever, then that deal might not have been done and we might not have got that player. Now, you can say what you want about how Jamie Murphy got on at Ibrox, but that's not the point. And then what you have to do is you have to ask the question, right, well, has this been done before? Have has this football club or other football clubs, or has even Rangers done this before? I mean, I can't imagine that we would, because we currently really don't have a board that seems to have a spine. But it's the wrong thing to do anyway. What on earth is another football club doing? Phoning another team and saying, by the way, that team that you're selling that player to can't afford the transfer. That is unbelievably embarrassing for me. If Rangers done that, I would be the first to call them out and go, what are you doing? What on earth are you doing, by the way? And there's no reason. Why would Jamie Murphy lie? There's absolutely no reason for that. He's obviously telling the truth. And if you go back to 2008, when we wanted the fixtures kind of moved. Now, see that in 2008, I can kind of understand that from a football club's point of view, right? Another football club involved in a league title challenge. We got to the UEFA Cup final in 2008. And I'm not saying it was Celtic or any other football club, because it's never been out. So I don't like to falsely accuse people of doing stuff that they might have not done. But in 2008, we asked if we could have some fixtures moved about. I can't remember the guy's name now. It's gone from my head. He wanted to help us out at the SFA. A club said, no, you're not doing that. Absolutely no way. And it didn't get done. Now, that doesn't mean that we would have went on to win the UEFA Cup, because, Zenit were a really good team back then. They were a much better team than us, so we would have needed luck on the day anyway. And it certainly doesn't mean that we would have went on to win the league or anything like that. But again, we talk about between the supporters in this country about how there's a disconnect, how it's possibly, not in terms of violence, but in terms of the way that we speak about each other, we deal with each other, it's gotten worse than 20 years ago or whatever. But when football clubs are doing that, you know, we cut the allocation in the beginning. Celtic refused apparently to use our name inside their stadium. Now football clubs are phoning other football clubs and saying that team can't afford to buy that player, which then probably hurts your relationship with that football club further down the line. It's just mental, absolutely mental, right? From where I sit, I'm a Rangers supporter. I don't like Celtic. I don't want Celtic to win anything. I don't want them to sign any good players. I hope every manager that goes there fails. I hope they don't do well in Europe, etc., etc., etc. But for me, that's where it stops, right? That's where it's done, and you move on. I've got mates who are Celtic fans. I've got no issue with any of that. I've got no hatred towards anybody. I dislike people immensely. But this pure and utter jealousy, hatred, any word that you want to put on it, I mean, it really does just show where Scottish football is. That you can have a football team, a football club, a professional football club, phone another and go, don't sell him to them because you'll not get the money. It astounds me. And look, there'll be people, and I get it. There'll be people going, well, I don't really care about that. That doesn't really bother me. Do what they want. There'll be other people who are maybe a bit more, aye, that's a bit out of order. And then there's other people who will be, no, that's completely out of order. Why hasn't this been investigated? Why hasn't this been looked at? And I'm probably in the middle of all that. You know me, I like to sit on the fence. I know that Brighton won this season. I'm just saying it could have affected, once you get a reputation. Like Brian's saying, Brighton loaned the SEMA, so the relationship can't be too bad. No, absolutely. But you know what it's like in any walk of life. Once you get a reputation, how difficult that reputation is to get rid of, especially if it's a negative one. Especially if it's negative. And this was many years ago. And Jamie Murphy's probably stirred up a hornet's nest talking about it. And maybe he shouldn't have. But the fact that we now know that happened, I didn't know that happened. Maybe I'm just naive. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm completely naive. But I didn't know that happened in football. I know that there's tricks that clubs do when maybe two clubs are going for the same player, and you try and make wee deals here and there, especially down south where it's loads of money and it's big players and stuff. But to me, that's embarrassing and petty. It's not funny. and the club, whoever the club was, should be ashamed of himself. And it just goes to show me as well, and it's not just that. There's loads of things, and Rangers aren't innocent in the way that for the state of Scottish football, Rangers aren't innocent in that. We've had our negatives. Um, but it just goes to show me where Scottish football is, the pettiness of Scottish football, and why, as much as I want it to, I don't think it'll ever grow past what it is now. I really don't, and I think it's a shame. I really, really do think it's a shame, because I do believe that we are a football nation, Scotland, and we do have potential. Like we've seen them. Like, I know it's a long time ago, but you go back to the Dalglish era, and the Alan Hansons and the Billy Bremners and the players that we used to produce as a country. And we're getting a wee bit better, with the Aaron Hickeys and the Pattersons and who else? Even if you want to throw Kieran Tierney into that, John McGinn, um, Tommy Conway. Now I don't even know if he's Scottish, to be fair, but my point is, it just saddens me. It really does just sadden me. Now I'm not going to sit here and say that my whole life I've been perfect, and I've never said stuff that is wrong and abhorrent when I was a youngster, and being bitter throughout my life when I was young and before my frontal lobe was fully developed at 25 years old, which is the age that your frontal lobe fully develops. And you make your mistakes when you're young, you grow up and you kind of move on. You have your digs, you have your moans, you have your back and forth, you have your banter the way it's supposed to be. You have your banter. The best team goes on and wins the league. Normally, the best team wins the cups, although cups can be, whatever can happen in cups. You have your away supporters, and you have your banter. My team's better than your team. No, it isn't. My team's better than your team. Or that ref today, or this, or that. And you move on. You just move on. And that's gone in Scotland. And maybe I'm completely wrong, folks. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm just overreacting. But that's just wrong for me. Like, it just saddens me where Scottish football is. It just really does sadden me. But we shall move on from that. Morning, Stephen. I don't have a producer today, so if I don't pull up your comment, I apologise. If it was up to you to improve Scottish football, Martin, what changes would you make? I would take the power away for clubs, as much power away for clubs as what the clubs have got in terms of, what is it, something ridiculous like you need an 11-to-1 ratio to get something through. I would bring people in at the SFA who had cojones and who actually wanted to do a proper job and promote Scottish football, get the best TV deals possible, invest that money back into Scotland, invest it in youth facilities, make it so that it's not a middle class sport anymore and parents don't need to bankrupt themselves just for their kids, unless you're extremely talented at a very young age, which most people aren't. To get that mentality running right through Scottish football. So that, like I say, if you're young, your mum and dad don't have a lot of money, they're scraping by from week to week, you can go and play football for your local team, and there's good facilities, and there's good training facilities, and it doesn't cost air. Why don't we do that in Scotland anymore? Why does it cost a fortune to go and play a seven-a-side game at goals or wherever? Why is football so expensive in Scotland? I just don't get it. I don't think we've particularly had governments in power who really care that much about football. So I don't think it's ever been top of the agenda. But I think there's so much that we can do in this country to help, not just Rangers, every team up and down the country. There is so much more we can do, especially at a young age. Get kids in playing football and enjoying it. Don't overcoach kids that we hear so much about nowadays. I get, I mean, Scott Hammond, Scottish football has turned its head away from a lot. Well, right. Sorry, I thought you were talking about somebody else. There's so many issues, Scott, with Scottish football, but there's so many issues with football worldwide. But other FAs, other countries just seem to have it down better. I believe I've got a producer in the background, uh, so happy days. Um, oh yeah, we've got a producer in the background. But listen, we could do a full show on how to improve Scottish football. Um, I think we need to get back to clubs not liking each other. 100% understandable. Clubs having the banter, but I think there needs to be a move towards getting hatred out of it. And I don't even know where you begin with that. I don't even know where you begin with that. It's well, it's Ian is the producer, but I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's Norwich Ian or it's Handsome Ian. Um, so and I'm going to talk about the Clement sit down as well, folks. I'm going to bring that up as well. But again, listen, if you disagree with me, if you think I'm talking a lot of nonsense, please tell me. Please just tell me. Because it's a back and forth. It's a back and forth. This it's a conversation, and it's something that I'm keen to have with anybody from any football club. Oh, sorry, I've got a sore throat this morning, so I need that coffee. And yeah, look, there's too much self-interest for anything to really change. The current status quo suits the one club who seems to pull the strings. But I think the current status quo is probably suiting more than just one club. Um, I just think that, and it's not. I'm not. This isn't at me having a go at Celtic or having a go at Aberdeen or having a go at Hibs or whoever. This is me having a go at everybody involved in Scottish football and saying, look, let's just put the bitterness behind us. Or not behind us, but let's just calm it down a bit. Let's get round the table and let's say, right, Rangers and Celtic, yous are the two biggest. Right? Yous are the top dogs in Scottish football. What do we need to do to get football running again properly in this country? What do we need to do to get our academies producing top quality players again? What do we have to do? Um, and I know that there'll be some supporters sitting shouting at me going, Martin, shut up, I hate them. I don't want anything to do with them. If they went out of business tomorrow, I'd be happy. I get that. I get that. And I'm not going to argue with people. This is just my thoughts, my feelings. And please do feel free um, to, to to get your comments in. Oh god. Sorry, the producer just sent a wee message. Um, I mean, Brian, yeah, the government care about rugby, like putting extra trains on during Six Nations, etc., drinking at rugby games. They hate football fans. I don't think there's anybody going to disagree with that. Football fans don't get treated right in this country. Football fans do not get treated right in this country, and that has to change as well. That really does have to change. I didn't plan on spending this long on that wee segment there, but I'll quickly touch on um, Jim Gil. Is Jim Gillespie in it? Jim Gillespie. Let's see. It would probably help if I knew his name. Apparently, he's now out of the running to be the CEO of Rangers Football Club. Um, I don't really have much more to add to that other than how long does it take to appoint a bloody CEO? You know, we've had Dave King come out and tell us that John Bennett's just so down and so frustrated with the current situation. Well, start working, start putting some work into it, and get as a CEO and start, behaving properly and acting like an owner of a football club, and not just sit there and cry in a boardroom saying, "Oh, I don't know what's happening." Just put the work in. Go and interview some top quality CEOs. I mean, if us supporters can think of a few off the top of our heads, surely to God know what they're doing. You know, Rangers 55 has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much. The support. It really. I am getting a message to say that my internet signal is weak. So if it cuts out, stay where you are, and I'll be back. I promise. But thank you so much for the support. Like I say, this can't happen without more members joining, signing up, more people watching, liking and sharing, subscribing. So I need your support. And I know that there's some people that I need members, I need subscribers, I need people to like and share in order for this to work for me. So if you're in a position and you want to help, and you can become a channel member, then down below there's a join button under the window if you're watching on a computer, or in the description there's a link to the membership page where you can choose whichever tier suits yourself to get loads of extra content. And what I can announce today is not this weekend for the Dundee United game, but after, for every game, there will be, for members, we will be doing a watch along. So for every game on the members page, whether it's just me, myself, or me with another one or two people, we will be watching along and commenting on every single Rangers game. So if that doesn't convince you to sign up, I don't know what will. And that'll be for all members. That'll be for all membership tiers. We will be watching along to every single Rangers game. So yeah. Let's have a wee look at some comments, shall we? My producer hasn't really been starring the comments, which is what my producer is supposed to do, folks. Hit the subscribe, Lynn likes, 290 watching, only 30 likes. There's actually 500 people watching across all platforms. I just thought I'd get that in. But yeah, get liking, get sharing, get subscribing. It really, really helps out. And I'm also getting a message saying that my internet is on the wobble. So if my internet's on the wobble, either Big Handsome Ian or Norwich Ian's going to have to jump in and take over. So there we go. It is, of course, the greatest ever Ranger, John Greig. It's his birthday, and of course he is the greatest ever Ranger. He has served this football club for 65 years, 81 today. What a servant he has been to Rangers Football Club, and he rightly earns that title of the greatest ever Ranger. Now wait till I read you this out. This is from We Are the People on Twitter. 82nd birthday, sorry. 82nd birthday. He joined Rangers in 1959. He scored 120 goals in 755 games, served as captain, manager, director, and honorary life president during a 65-year, like I said, association with the club. Now, this is the bit. As a player and manager, he's won 3 trebles, 5 titles, 8 Scottish Cups, 6 League Cups, and 1 European Cup Winners' Cup. Now, all the time that Mr. Greig was at our football club, Rangers weren't always the best team. Rangers didn't always win the league, and especially as manager, trying times. And we have trying times right now. But that is a man who captained us to 3 trebles, 5 titles, 8 Scottish Cups and 6 League Cups, and a European Cup Winners' Cup when we were good, but we weren't the best all the time. That is a man who had fight, determination, loved the football club, wanted to do everything he could for the football club. That is a captain. That is a leader. That is what we need now. He is the type of man that we need at our football club. That is the difference between winning stuff when you're good, winning stuff when you're not as good, and not winning stuff and winning stuff not as good. That is the type of man that you have at your football. I'm sorry if this is cutting out. If you can still hear me, please let me know. And Aldo, best captain we've ever had by a country mile, by an absolute country mile. The best captain that our football club has ever had. I just want to say, James Dalrymple, who contributes to this podcast a lot, thank you so much for becoming a member again, and for your support. You're going to start seeing a lot more content on the members page, a lot more shows on the members page. And of course, if you are a member, get on the members page and let me know what you want to see as well. So yeah, just let me know, folks. I don't know why my internet's doing this. They're doing works outside. And by the way, I was taking my daughter to school this morning, right? And I sat in temporary lights. My daughter's school's about 1.5 miles away. Temporary traffic lights right outside my house. 15 minutes I sat in them. And I don't know if any of you know Hamilton, right? but the Low Waters Road is like one of the main roads that runs through it, and there has been temporary lights there since I can remember. There's always work. Always work. I mean, yeah, well, I get Richard Gough is right up there. I completely get that. And Richard, all right, country mail, maybe that's a bit harsh. I just think he's the greatest ever captain of Rangers. He is the greatest ever Ranger, so why would he not be the greatest ever captain? So apologies if that offended. Of course, Richard Gough was a phenomenal captain. So was, and like the sniper saying, so was Barry Ferguson. And do you know what? If you disagree and you don't like what I say, I'm hoping this is going to work with the way that my internet's working today. But call 01416287237 and I will bring you in and you can shout at me. Just don't swear. Please, please no swearing. You can shout at me, you can tell me that I'm completely wrong. Say what you want. 01416287237. And I hope that the internet holds up. And just as I say that, James phones me. James, how you doing?
How's it going, Martin?
It's going okay if my internet holds up, mate.
Aye, it's a bit dodgy today, I'll give you that.
I know. It's see when you're doing this yourself as well, you've nowhere else to turn.
Aye, it's a bit laggy, just like Tavernier's legs.
I wish I had Tav's legs.
Aye.
Yeah, what's your thoughts?
No, I was just sitting thinking there obviously about captains, and I'm not too sure if you saw the Barry Ferguson speaking on Go Radio, obviously after that guy shouting at Tavernier, and obviously I thought I was wrong. Everyone wants the event, but obviously got this somebody face to face screaming and shouting at him, and that they kind of made a point. Is it now after that game? Where is it Philippe Clement? Is it because of Philippe Clement the way Tavernier's playing? Because he doesn't have the legs to be a right back anymore, and I think everybody can see that. Should he be trying to replace him, or should he be trying to do something else, do you think?
Right, well, first of all, I caught about half of that, so this is going well. But yeah, look, on the point of James Tavernier, were you listening yesterday when Scott was on?
No, it was a night shift, unfortunately.
But that's not a good enough excuse. That's not a good enough excuse. But look, Scott was kind of defending Tav a wee bit and looking at his past numbers and what he's done for the football club. But I don't think, I really, really don't think, James, that there's going to be anybody out there who is looking at this football club, looking at it moving forward, and realistically thinks that it can do that with James Tavernier.
No, well, I've said that for quite a while. I mean, when it came to obviously replacements, we lost out when we obviously sold Nathan Patterson, which was a big loss, I think. Then we bought Dujon Sterling in. And I think everyone thought he was going to be the immediate replacement, and you're going to start seeing him get put into the team, and that just didn't happen whatsoever. I thought maybe pushing Tav forward and putting Dujon Sterling in as right back would have maybe worked out a lot better. But whether he stays or I don't know. I think his time's up, and I think we've got our money out of him. I think we paid something like 300,000, and over the 9 years,
200, I think.
200. Well, we've got our money's worth out of him, and he has been a great servant, and he's gave us some fantastic memories. But I think he should leave while now before things get worse for him.
I think he possibly should have left before now, but I completely take your point on board. Before you go, James, what's the most petty thing you've ever done?
The most petty thing I've ever done?
Yeah, and keep it clean.
Most petty thing I've ever done?
Or just something petty, 'cause I know it can be quite difficult to think on the spot, but just something petty that you've done to somebody else, or you've cut their nose off to spite your face.
No. My mate was coming up to stay the weekend. So, and he's a massive Celtic fan, and changed my son's bed sheets to the Rangers bed sheets so he could sleep in a Rangers bed.
Love it.
That's
Brilliant.
probably the pettiest thing. So that was it. But I'll let you go now, Martin, and I'll hopefully speak to you guys soon as well.
Thank you very much for the call, James. I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you. So there we go. The most petty thing. See, even if you want to just phone up and tell me the most petty thing you've ever done, 01416287237. I apologise for the quality of stream that you're getting. It's something I'll obviously, when I'm doing this myself, there's not really anything I can do if the internet goes down, which is unfortunate. I will once I've got myself sorted and I've got everything with the Rabble working and we're motoring full time, I'll maybe upgrade to that super duper broadband Wi-Fi futuristic satellites above your house internet, and I don't even know if that that'll work. I will put a link to the merchandise in the description. I'm not really that good a businessman. I'll be totally honest with everybody. I'm not a great businessman. In the comments, that is a link for the merch. I will put it in the description. I need to get better at being a businessman. I'm really not good at it. But just quickly getting back on the CEO point, 01416287237 to get on and have your say. It's getting pretty bad now. It's getting beyond a joke that we are now in a position where it's been. This is what I was saying about John Bennett. Every single time the man comes out and speaks, he makes the situation worse. Yeah, we all wanted him to come out and speak. We absolutely did. But every time he does, he makes the situation worse. See, if you're no closer to getting a CEO, don't put a time frame on it. Don't say, oh, maybe within a few weeks. Just say the process is ongoing. We're trying to find the best candidate, and you move away from the question. Then you can't have 5'8" fat people like me sitting on a podcast going, well, you said 2 weeks. Where's the CEO? We're going after somebody for St Mirren. We can't get somebody from St Mirren to come and be the CEO of a football club. That just looks daft. So what are you actually doing behind the scenes? And I don't want Dave King coming out and saying, oh, John Bennett's really upset about the way the situation's going with the football club. I don't care. I just want to start seeing results behind the scenes, and I want to start seeing results on the park. So John Bennett can be as upset as he wants when he gets back to his nice big house and all his money in the bank. He can be as upset as he wants. Start making decisions and start getting decisions done and correct, and get a bloody CEO in the door so we can all stop talking about it. I mean, I really don't think it's that difficult. How difficult can it be to employ a CEO at Rangers Football Club? Like, seriously? Do you know what? I'll do it. I mean, no, actually, no, I won't. Jeez, oh, no. Oh, no, you don't want me in at that football.
No, Martin disappeared on us. So here I am, chatting away to you now. Well, where was he? Banging on about CEOs.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back, Ian.
He's
I'm
back
back.
again. He's back
I'm
again.
back.
Good job. 10 minutes ago, I was naked.
Yeah, thank you very much for jumping on in the background. I appreciate that. If you want to stay on now, you can as you shuffle the old thing behind
See
you.
that? Managed to do that. There, carry on.
I've had
That's
to-
not a
I've had
United
to-
States flag behind me, by the way. That's my son's football top.
Ah, yes. I've had to cut off the phone in because I think that was also just putting too much pressure on the Wi-Fi, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, look, just if you want to go through this quickly before we finish up about Clement's Q&A last night, I'll read you out some of the answers that he's gave Ian, and you can give me your feedback. And please still get your comments in, folks. Apologies for the stream today. But he was asked, Ian, if we're capable of a title challenge, and his answer was, yeah, I'm convinced about that, or I wouldn't be here. Of course, it's a big rebuild, 16 players left. It was not also easy to have a good transfer window because 7 players left for 0 and had to be replaced by players that cost money. We had to cut wages also because it was not sustainable the way the wages were built in the last couple of years in the squad. So he does think that we can mount a title challenge, which of course you want your manager to say. But he's highlighted the issues at the football club. 16 players had to leave, 7 went for no money, and we had to cut the wage bill because the way that the club's been run, the wage bill was far too high.
Yes, when you look at it, that's half of those exits from the club with 0 money coming in, apart from the wage save. So you can kind of understand why we've not had the best transfer window. Doesn't really explain why we all left it so late, and having to try and scrabble around for what was left at the end of the transfer window as opposed to going for what we wanted. Because he also said that he had a number of players who he had convinced that Rangers was the place for them to come. And they were just waiting for other players to move on before they could come in, which obviously didn't materialise. Better offers maybe coming in while they waited. Risky business to play. But he's going to say that he's convinced. Otherwise, you imagine the fan revolt on that if he just turned around and said, well, no, I don't think we'll win the league this year. But yeah, he's telling us, again, go back to the point he made, that October, November is when we're going to start seeing the best of the team. For now, we've kind of got to take him at his word. We've just had a miserable time of it lately. Hopefully, come May, that means that we're all eating our words. But I'll believe it when I see it on this one, I think.
Oh, see, I mean, I was on mute, Ian. I was doing fine until my internet went, and all of a sudden, my head's all over the place. He was also asked about closing the gap on Celtic. And again, I don't really know what people expect him to say, but Clement said that the other side of the town have been building their squad for more than 1 year and playing together. It's normal that they're ahead now. I hate that, and I want to change that as fast as possible. Do you think, can you see from our comments and maybe what you see in social media, can you see a slight change in fan perception or the anger being lowered a wee bit? Is there maybe a couple more fans say to themselves, it's maybe not as bad as we all feared 2 weeks ago?
In some respects, yeah, there's always going to be that element that want that success and they want it now, because for whatever reason, maybe they've grown up in the era that I grew up, and that every time a trophy was divvied out, most of the time in Scotland, it was Rangers picking it up, apart from the odd occasional year here and there. But if you listen to what we've said in pods recently, if you listen to other pods as well, they give that debate of, well, what do you expect? It's not going to be an overnight thing. You're going to have to roll with some punches and take them as they come. Even when Ange was over the road, they didn't start well.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first 7 games they dropped so many points that we were convinced that we were just going to get the second title in a row, and that was it. I remember leaving Ibrox after Philippe Clement netted the winner, saying that's as good as they can be. We can only get better. And that comment came to bite me in the ass. So I don't know, is ass a swear word? Should I stop saying that? I don't know. But
I think ass is okay. Ass is okay.
But so, and Clement's right in that respect, that they have been together for a number of years through even some of those players were there when Lennon finished up, and they were there through Ange being there, and are still there now that Rodgers has taken over, and they've added to that. We've had 3 different managers in that time, and we've had to rebuild each time. And hopefully we'll start to see that at the end. But I do think in some aspects, I think the majority of the support are now beginning to think, do you know what? We'll wait and see what happens. With that year extension, I think everyone's realising that he's going to be here for at least this season. So let's just sit back, relax, and see what happens.
I'm actually glad it was Handsome that came on today, to be honest. Yeah, and by the way,
you find it was Norwich even handsomer, Ian, is what I
Norwich even handsomer. And yeah, one corner's Wi-Fi, absolutely. The Bruce channel member, as frustrating as it is, and probably will be going forward, we all need to suck it up, go with it, and hope to see an increase in performance. That's effectively it. We don't really have an option. We can be angry and shout and swear and whatever, but it is what it is. That's pretty much it. Going to finish up, Ian, on just one last point. Did you see who scored for Scotland under 21s, Ian?
I did. I did see you scored for Scotland under 21s, mainly because the first thing I thought of when that went in was you, which was a horrible thing to have in my head, to be fair. But yeah, so I just thought, I better know what he's doing right now.
It angered me because I'm thinking to myself, I'm a talk about Lennon Miller, folks, for those who don't watch regularly. That angered me because I'm thinking to myself, that's somebody we should have just went and got. I don't know if he was going to come. I don't know if his dad wanted him to go to Rangers or whatever. But he is a player who he's shown it now at under 21 level. Apparently had a very good game. We should really go, Ian, just quickly and try and pick him up in January if we can.
If we can, yeah. I mean, there's nothing to say that we didn't go for him during the summer. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Just because we don't hear it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Because you think the players that we did bring in, most of them, we didn't hear anything of it until they actually were literally near enough signed. So we may have gone to Motherwell with an offer, and Motherwell said, no, that's not anywhere near enough for Miller. Maybe even Miller himself has gone, do you know what, flattered, but for the benefit of myself, I'm just going to stay here right now. So we don't know what's gone on. But definitely, that's what we should be looking at. Young, talented, because they are there. We've proven it. We've got Conor Barron, young, talented Scottish players to look forward to the future.
Yeah, 100%. Folks, I'm really, really sorry about technical issues. But that's why you need to sign up and become a member, like, share, subscribe, make us bigger, and we can sort all those technical issues. I don't know how you sort those technical issues when it's coming from outside, but we'll just go with that as a sales technique, I think. So, yeah, and don't forget, you can download or stream all of our shows wherever you get your podcasts, Acast, iTunes, Spotify. And I put and more because I couldn't think of any other places that you can download podcasts. So it's the three places and more is effectively where you can get your podcasts. I'm back tonight at 7:30 internet. Myself and David Edgar are just going to talk all things Rangers for a new show that I don't think I get enough appreciation for my ability to come up with show names. Martin and Edgar talk Rangers. I mean, who would have thought of that for the name of a show? So that's at 7:30 tonight, and then tomorrow, Morning Rabble, and we're back with some member shows tomorrow as well. On Sunday, it will just be a build-up for members for the Dundee United game, and then after that, it will be live watch-alongs for all the games for all of our members. Ian, thank you for jumping on at the end there and saving me.
No problem. Always there. Well, I say always, not always, but when I can.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Wally's right. I'm a creative genius. I mean, who else would have come up with that name? You know, use my first name, use his second name, and put Talk Rangers in there. I mean,
it's on par with some of the Heart and Hand shows themselves. So
I think so. I think so. Scone. It's some part of that. I think. As creative geniuses go. I will try not be late, folks. I will try not be late. I'll reset my internet. I'll do all that good stuff. But I am just having a wee look to see if there's any more. No, that's it, folks. Ian, thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to our new members. Like I say, if you can, go for it. Help the podcast out. Like, share, subscribe. Share it with everybody that you know. Just say there's this big, handsome guy called Ian who does these podcasts, and you need to go and see him. So thank you very much, folks. We'll see you all at 7:30 tonight. Have a good rest of your day.